Welcome, everyone. If you're a fan of classic Hollywood cinema, larger-than-life performances, and fascinating on-screen charisma, then you're in for a real treat. Today, we're diving into the incredible filmography of one of Hollywood's most iconic figures, Yul Brynner. You may recognize him from his striking bald head, authoritative voice, or the commanding presence he brought to every role he ever touched. And if you've ever wondered how he managed to captivate audiences for decades, this list will clear things up in spectacular fashion. Yul Brynner was a true legend, born in Russia, raised traveling the world, and somehow always destined for the cinematic spotlight. Once he stepped onto the stage or in front of the camera, all eyes were on him. He just had that special something. So, why is Yul Brynner so beloved in Hollywood history? Well, beyond his enigmatic charm and daring look, he played some of the most memorable characters of his era. His portrayal of kings, pharaohs, gunslingers, and even robots left indelible marks on audiences. He was never afraid to go big, push boundaries, and pour all his passion into every role. So, join me as we count down from 10 to 1, celebrating the top 10 best Yul Brynner movies. Get ready to discover behind-the-scenes trivia, revel in unforgettable scenes, and appreciate the timeless work of a man whose legacy still shines bright today. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Kicking things off at number 10 is Future World, a 1976 sci-fi adventure that gave audiences yet another glimpse into the futuristic, eerie realm that Brynner helped bring to life just a few years earlier. Though his appearance in the film might be relatively brief, it's undeniably impactful. Here, Yul Brynner reprises his role from Westworld, a mysterious and imposing gunslinger, but this time the setting is even more advanced, and the stakes are higher. Did you know that many fans were amazed to discover just how much of a cult following this sequel developed over the years? While it might not be as widely discussed as its predecessor, it's still a treat for anyone intrigued by old-school science fiction blended with themes of human technology run amok. In Future World, we see the newly reopened amusement park, brimming with confident assurances that every glitch has been fixed. Of course, we all know that's never the case in these stories. The film explores moral dilemmas about artificial intelligence and corporate greed, which, interestingly, still resonates today. Though Yul Brynner's role is more symbolic here, his presence adds a sense of mystery and continuity for fans of the original Westworld. If you're a Brynner devotee, it's a must-watch for the rare chance to see him revisit such a memorable part, reminding everyone why he was such a standout. Have you ever thought about what it takes for a single actor to become the face of a franchise? Brynner managed to do just that, even with limited screen time. Sliding into 9th place is The Journey, a 1959 drama directed by Anatol Litvak. This gripping story is set in Hungary during the time of the Soviet invasion and revolves around a diverse group of Western travelers who find themselves stranded. Yul Brynner portrays the complex Major Surov, a Soviet officer tasked with overseeing the travelers, and from the moment he appears, you know you're watching an actor who can command the screen with subtlety and tension. Have you ever wondered how certain actors can make you empathize with a character that shouldn't be sympathetic at all? Brynner's performance here is a prime example. There's an intensity in his eyes that reveals conflicts beneath the surface, a man torn between duty and compassion, torn between allegiances and private longing. One of the most intriguing aspects of The Journey is how it balances romance, political drama, and personal sacrifice. At its heart, it's about people caught in geopolitical turmoil, trying to find hope, connection, and humanity. Brynner's scenes with Deborah Kerr, who plays an English traveler in the group, are genuinely compelling. Their subtle glances, the unspoken tension, and the quiet moments make for a riveting, slow-burn dynamic that keeps you invested until the very end. If you appreciate a well-crafted drama with a historical edge, The Journey is one of those underrated classics that shines a spotlight on Yul Brynner's broader range as an actor. At number 8, we have Taras Bulba from 1962, a grand historical adventure that pits love, war, and loyalty at the center of a sweeping Cossack tale. Brynner stars as the titular Taras Bulba, a fierce and proud Cossack chieftain determined to protect his homeland from Polish invaders. Watching him don the elaborate costumes and fierce expressions typical of epic historical dramas, you can't help but get swept away by his commanding energy. Did you know that many fans were fascinated by how comfortable Brynner seemed in this role, despite coming from a vastly different background? His own international heritage may have lent him that extra spark for playing characters who hail from distant lands and cultures. The film boasts captivating battle scenes, lavish set designs, and a passionate story about family honor and identity. One of the highlights is Brynner's fatherly dynamic with Tony Curtis's character, Andrei, Taras's son. Their relationship is tested by personal loyalties and romantic entanglements, adding depth to what might otherwise be a purely action-driven plot. If you're yearning for a classic period piece filled with drama and robust performances, Taras Bulba is definitely worth a spot in your viewing queue. In 7th place is Solomon and Sheba, the 1959 biblical epic that offered Yul Brynner a chance to step straight into the pages of ancient history. This movie was famously beset by production challenges. It originally starred Tyrone Power, who tragically passed away during filming, prompting Brynner to step in. He takes on the regal role of King Solomon, while Gina Lollobrigida plays the seductive Queen of Sheba. One might wonder how much pressure Brynner felt to take over a role mid-production. Yet, when you watch his performance, you'd hardly guess that the film underwent such turmoil. The on-screen chemistry between Brynner and Lollobrigida is a major selling point. Sheba's allure and Solomon's wisdom are at the crux of the movie's drama, which unfolds with lavish sets, dramatic confrontations, and an overarching theme of forbidden love and political tension. And did you know that many critics praised Brynner for carrying the film through its most turbulent production moments? His natural gravitas, as well as his ability to shift between serenity and fierce determination, made his portrayal of Solomon particularly memorable. If you're a fan of classic epics with dramatic flair, a stirring score, and mesmerizing historical intrigue, Solomon and Sheba is a gem in the Brynner canon. Coming in at number 6, we jump into the realm of sci-fi western with 1973's Westworld, a movie that continues to influence pop culture to this day. Before HBO's series brought the concept to modern audiences, the original Westworld film introduced us to a futuristic amusement park where guests could live out their wildest fantasies, until things go horribly wrong, of course. Yul Brynner portrays the gunslinger, a relentless android who becomes a terrifying adversary once the park's safety protocols fail. You've got to wonder, what makes Brynner's gunslinger so terrifying? It's that silent, unstoppable stare and the lethal precision with which he hunts his targets. Fun fact, many fans compare Brynner's gunslinger to the archetype of the unstoppable villain, similar to later iconic roles like the Terminator. The black-clad costume is reminiscent of his character Chris in The Magnificent Seven, an intentional nod by the filmmakers to Brynner's earlier Western fame. With cutting-edge effects for its time and a storyline that questions the ethics of artificial intelligence, Westworld was ahead of its era. Watching Brynner seamlessly shift from a charming host to a horrifying killing machine is a testament to his diverse talent. If you're in the mood for a futuristic thrill ride sprinkled with Old West flair, Westworld should be on your must-watch list. At the halfway mark, we arrive at The Magnificent Seven, the 1960 Western that remains one of the most beloved films of its genre. For many fans, Yul Brynner's portrayal of Chris Adams, the fearless leader of a ragtag group of gunfighters, is the ultimate sign of his star power. Have you ever watched a Western and felt that the main character truly embodied the spirit of the frontier? That's exactly what happens here. Brynner's calm, collected demeanor and unwavering resolve make him a natural-born hero on the silver screen. This film is a remake of Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, transposed into the Old West. The storyline follows 7 outlaws, adventurers, and sharpshooters hired to protect a small Mexican village from ruthless bandits. Alongside Brynner, the film showcases an ensemble cast that includes Steve McQueen, Charles Bronson, and James Coburn. Behind-the-scenes stories mention that Brynner and McQueen had a bit of on-set rivalry, competing for camera time and line deliveries, but many fans were surprised by how that rivalry actually enhanced their on-screen chemistry. Together, they created a dynamic that fueled the film's tension and excitement. With its iconic soundtrack, memorable lines, and a storyline that touches on honor and sacrifice, The Magnificent Seven continues to attract new generations of fans. Brynner's performance is a large part of that lasting legacy. Securing 4th place on our countdown is The Brothers Karamazov, a 1958 adaptation of Fyodor Dostoevsky's classic novel. If you love deep moral quandaries, family drama, and passionate storytelling, this film is right up your alley. Yul Brynner steps into the role of Dmitry Karamazov, one of 3 brothers who each wrestle with love, faith, and the overbearing presence of their father. Some might assume that playing in a literary adaptation of this caliber might be daunting, but Brynner carries it with a brooding intensity that drives the story forward. Did you know that many literary buffs consider Brynner's portrayal one of the best cinematic takes on Dostoevsky's complex characters? Dmitry's emotional turmoil, torn between personal desires and moral obligations, comes through brilliantly in Brynner's performance. This film also benefits from a superb supporting cast, including Maria Schell and Claire Bloom, who add layers of romantic and philosophical tension. Although it might not be as action-packed as some of Brynner's other hits, The Brothers Karamazov stands out for its rich narrative and thought-provoking themes. Even if you haven't read the novel, the film's portrayal of a disintegrating family and the spiritual quandaries they face is compelling drama that still resonates today. In 3rd place, we have Anastasia, a 1956 historical drama that pairs Yul Brynner with the one and only Ingrid Bergman. Now, if you've heard of this film, you probably know Bergman won an Academy Award for her performance as a troubled woman who may, or may not, be the surviving Grand Duchess Anastasia of Russia. But Brynner more than holds his own as General Bunin, the man with a cunning plan to pass off a mysterious amnesiac as royalty. Their on-screen chemistry is electric. Bunin's calculated confidence meets Anastasia's fragile uncertainty, and together they light up every scene. Have you ever been drawn in by a story that balances elements of romance, mystery, and political intrigue? That's exactly what Anastasia delivers. Yul Brynner's performance gives us a fascinating look at a man who is part con artist, part protector, and part accidental romantic lead. He's manipulative at times, but also gradually reveals a more tender side as he comes to care for the woman he's trying to pass off as a lost princess. Many fans were amazed to discover how well this film balances spectacle and emotional depth, featuring ballrooms, lavish costumes, and the very human struggle of identity and belonging. It's a must-watch, not just for Brynner's charming performance, but for the gorgeous mid-century production values and an unforgettable storyline. Narrowly missing the top spot is the grand biblical epic The 10 Commandments from 1956. Directed by Cecil B. DeMille, this is one of the most iconic films in Hollywood history, famous for its majestic set pieces, grandiose scale, and star-studded cast. Yul Brynner plays Ramesses II, locked in a fateful rivalry with Charlton Heston's Moses. From the very first moment you see Brynner in regal Egyptian garb, you're left in no doubt. He was born to play a king. Did you know that many viewers couldn't help but marvel at Brynner's ability to hold his own against Heston's commanding presence? Their clash of wills is the film's heartbeat. One, a proud pharaoh determined to maintain his empire's power; the other, a chosen prophet driven by divine inspiration. Off-screen, Brynner displayed the same meticulous approach to his performance that he did in all his films, training extensively to master his character's body language, accent, and regal posture. And if you've ever wondered what it takes to make a timeless blockbuster, watch this film's massive sets, costuming, and epic crowd scenes. The Ten Commandments remains a spectacle that modern CGI blockbusters still pay homage to, and Brynner's unwavering intensity as the villainous yet strangely captivating Ramesses II is a big reason why this movie continues to resonate with audiences. Finally, at the very top of our list, we have The King and I, the 1956 musical that immortalized Yul Brynner as the charismatic, headstrong King of Siam. This role was so perfect for Brynner that he not only starred in the Broadway version, but also reprised his role for film, winning the Academy Award for Best Actor. Audiences fell in love with his portrayal of the regal yet childlike monarch who clashes and connects with Anna, played wonderfully by Deborah Kerr. One of the most unforgettable aspects of The King and I is Brynner's physicality. He shaved his head for the stage role and stuck with the look ever since, an exceptionally bold move in the 1950s. And let's not forget the mesmerizing dance scene, Shall We Dance?, with Brynner gliding across the floor in his elaborate costume. Many fans were amazed to discover how rigorous the preparation for that number was, requiring precise choreography and the perfect balance of tension and playfulness. The film's musical score by Rodgers and Hammerstein includes timeless songs that fans still hum today, and Brynner's portrayal elevated the entire production into a cinematic masterpiece. His dynamic chemistry with Deborah Kerr, coupled with his larger-than-life energy, made this film an instant classic that continues to enchant new generations. If there's one Yul Brynner movie you absolutely cannot miss, it's The King and I. It defined his legacy in a way few roles ever could for any actor. And there you have it, Yul Brynner's top 10 best movies, each showcasing a different facet of his powerful screen presence. Whether he was playing kings, gunslingers, or tormented souls, Brynner always knew how to command attention. From historical spectacles like The Ten Commandments and Solomon and Sheba to musical masterpieces like The King and I, his filmography is a tapestry of epic storytelling and unforgettable moments. He managed to stand tall against legendary co-stars like Charlton Heston and Ingrid Bergman, and he brought an undeniably global perspective to Hollywood with his own international background. His contributions to cinema can't be overstated. He broke molds, challenged norms, and proved that strong performances transcend time. Even today, his work continues to inspire actors and entertain audiences of all ages. So, which of these 10 classics is your personal favorite? Are you partial to the majestic scope of the Ten Commandments, or do you find yourself humming tunes from The King and I? Let us know in the comments below, and if we missed any of your beloved Yul Brynner films, be sure to share them. Your insights and suggestions might just inspire future countdowns and discussions. If you enjoyed this look at the remarkable career of Yul Brynner, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more entertaining movie countdowns, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for our next deep dive into the world of classic cinema.